Hello, and this is my DER 1.3, the counting circuit. Here we have a completed 2-digit counter. The normal one is made out of 6 parts: the analog input and the NAND gate oscillator, the decade counter, the decimal counter, and the binary counter decimal decoder. It finally runs into a 7-segment display. Here we have the extra part added of another 4510 and another 4511, and of course the extra 7-segment display. This is the final version of the circuit. It is fully soldered in its case. It includes an on-off and the up-down, and all 4 chips. RC2 is over here, RC1 is over here. There's actually an outline on the circuit board that shows how things are put in where. Here we have the NAND gate oscillator and the analog input. It works using capacitors and NAND logic to create a working oscillation and square wave system that can easily be used through the rest of the circuit. As you can see here, it's the same exact pattern that'll be eventually used for the counting. That's the whole circuit. Now this is the binary counter part of the chip. It basically uses a 4510 to count the rising edges coming out of the 4017 in binary. It can be displayed here by this nibble counter, which displays the rising edges and counting through binary. The binary chip outputs the pulses into separate parts, and those can be run and interpreted as binary by the 4511 chip over here, which then directly sends it into the adder, the counter. The way this functions is through counting the rising edges here, converting it into binary, and then sending that binary directly as its own independent output. Oh, it's running out of battery. And by sending that binary as its own independent output for each specific pin here, which is then translated here depending on what number you want to show. It's incredibly complicated. This 2-bit adder can do things like stopping and going down. However, it's not functioning because I have this hooked up. So if we were to disconnect those, it'd start functioning. As you can see here, this is the finished product actually working. It might be a bit buggy because I think some of my resistors have overlapped temporarily, but it's all working. The only difference between this 2-digit adder and the 1-digit adder is I've added these 2 chips here, and I've run the overflow output from the 4510 into the 4510 over here, and then I've reconnected the 4511 as normal. This 4510 uses the exact same pulse as that. However, it has the added carry out from the 4510, which is how the whole thing functions as a 2-digit counter.